Hi everyone, as you already know, my name is Bob Simon. Tonight I have with me Elizabeth Ray from Maui, where the wildfire start. It's been like almost 2 months. Tonight we're going deeper, a little bit deep to understand why Maui residents, why they are worried, why there are so much publication on social media where they publish through those videos, they show certain things, certain facts that like they don't understand and they try to find answer. So while like people from Maui, they struggle from the aftermath, or they struggle from the wildfire. So we from the mainland, we try to understand, we try to appreciate, and then give them our help. So tonight, Elizabeth Ray, you are welcome on our guest say. Your host is always Simon Bob Samuel. So Elizabeth, how you doing?
Doing okay, thank you.
So glad finally we have you on air with us, and we appreciate that. We understand your situation over there, and we see a lot of videos online, on TikToks, on Facebook. So we see there's a lot of witness, a lot of survivors from the wildfire. They are posting some videos. So tonight, the main goal is try to understand what they want to express, what those videos means, what the answers Lahaina residents looking for. How things going on Lahaina right now?
Okay, well, today, right now, in the aftermath, 2 months later, um, West Side Lahaina is in chaos. The people right now affected by the fires, people who have lost their houses in the Waihikuli area, hundreds of houses, hundreds of students who went to my school, Princess Nahiena, and in Lahaina. Since day one, they've been going from sleeping on the beach to going into shelters to now going into any type of housing they can get, friends, families, and then they go through FEMA if they can, if they are a US citizen, which you have to remember a lot of the Filipino community, 50% was not US citizens, so they could not go through FEMA, they could not get that housing. So we have a lot of displaced families. And right now on the west side, there's Kanapali, and all the families are staying at the hotels, at about 5 hotels, and they are pleading right now for tourism not to come back, which Josh Green has said to open West Side tourism on the 8th. And these people are pleading not to come right now because they are displaced. They have no home. They cannot get stable enough to get a job. So this tourism doesn't help them in getting the job. They are absolutely have no words for the what they're going through in grieving and all their community councils. We have so many people just trying to express their voice to the government, and no litigation is being made. They're barely being heard. The meetings are being secret, away from people, with no transportation. They don't even have clothes.
Wow.
Like, this is really bad.
All right. So, from your, from the your point of view, and as you are there with them. You are part of the situation right now. So, what do you think? If there's something number one need that Lahaina resident need right now, what is that?
I believe the number one thing that Lahaina needs right now is a voice for its people that were affected by this fire. They need
Okay.
a voice for their children's education. They need a voice for housing. They need a voice for transportation, for jobs, for being able to go back into their homes. They they need a voice, and they're not getting it because they're not part of these government programs that make up the litigation to solve these problems.
As I say earlier, there's a lot of videos on posted on social media, TikTok, Facebook, all over the place that's showing like some fact. So from the point of view, what do you think is the most, is the one of the main cause of the wildfire? What started? How it started from the point of view?
From the point of view of the West Side people and the majority of the West Side people, and according to evidence from people's houses that saw the first fire at 8 a.m. caused by a down power line,
Mhm.
which was said to have been put out by the firefighters. But later that day at 2 o'clock, there were more fires raging in the same area. So it's possible that it didn't get put all the way out. And it is also, they believe it is the fault of the government and the stakeholders and this who own the state land that was taken from the Hawaiian people, because they left it hazardous. It was invasive grasslands that the Hawaiian people have been trying to petition and trying to promote to be taken care of in their Hawaiian cultural way, which would have stopped all of this. And besides the HECO not turning off their power lines afterwards, that caused more fires. So the nepotism of the government definitely was a cause of the fires in all these government areas with HECO and with the stakeholders who own the land, who didn't take care of their land, which Josh Green said in the 2050 plan back in January, a month before the fires, that one of his goals was disaster relief and protection of the lands, the agricultural lands, to promote hazardous situations a month before the fires.
All right, we'll get it. So next point, I see there's a lot of, a lot of residents that was testify. So what is the next step for the council?
So at that meeting, there was no litigation. They call it, the people of Lahaina, the West Side people call it the Great Lahaina Meeting, because about 800 people show up, all wear red shirts and signs saying Lahaina strong. And this was their chance to have a voice. Well, unfortunately, none of the government showed up, but they did have 5 representatives there. Okay. But they were upset about them not showing up. So at that meeting, they were able to voice their opinions. So the next day, they had another meeting with the Department of Education. And a few people from the meeting before were able to find out that there was another meeting. So they went to the meeting where the governor or the mayor was at that DOE meeting, but they didn't have the voice there because it wasn't, they didn't know that there was another meeting where the government officials would actually be there. So okay. They've had 3 meetings since, and there's just no litigation, and we're not being heard. And even our people went all the way to Honolulu to the government's office, and he hid in his office as they stood outside telling them, pleading them, please delay Westside, the opening of Westside tourism.
All right. So I get the point right now. So there's like a couple of facts. So what about the children? Did you finally get an answer about, like, I heard like from the past videos from the DOA official, there was like missing children, student, I don't know. So where they are exactly? Did they find them, or what is the situation right now about that?
So what I know right now is the DOE is saying they've accounted for out of the 3,000 that were enrolled before the fire, they're saying that they have, as of today, accounted for mostly all of them except for 266. But this is how they're saying that they're accounting for them. They're accounting for them in that they got notice that some of them went to a private school, some of them went to a charter school, some of them, while they were in shelter, registered at the school on the part of the island where they were in and are deciding to stay at that school. So they registered to a different school. Okay. The whole education system has been so chaotic that parents are having to bust their keiki across the island to even get them to school because their housing is temporary wherever their work is. And so it's very hard to define what happened to the kids, but we do know that there were 50% of our children lived in the Waikuli area, which no houses survived, and where there were a bunch of cars stuck in gridlock, a bunch of cars burned to the ground. We do know that there are a lot more kids that have perished besides the 2 on the news.
Okay.
From parents and teachers who I've spoken to.
What Lahaina residents expect from officials, from officials to do? What you guys really want right now?
What do we want from government officials?
Yes.
I think since honestly, since Queen, I'm gonna butcher her name, Queen Liliu o Kakea, the last reigning monarch of Hawaii. I believe since she was illegally under house arrest, and she was trying to promote more power to the monarchy, and the wealthy white European businessmen who established the safety committee overthrew her government, overthrew the whole Hawaiian government. They took their land. Back in 1993, they even got an apology from the government officials saying that, admitting that this is what they did. They took their land, they overthrew their government, and the Hawaiians never regained their sovereignty, and they never had the right to vote on it. And so they were given an apology, but that apology did not state that they can have their land back. And so I really think that what they want government officials is to step down, and the government officials to be part of the representation of the people, because the officials do not represent the people, and they make the decisions without the people. They don't hear their voice. They take away our First Amendment. They do secret meetings. They have the wealth and the power to do this. And the media, as you can see, they're using the media to spread lies and to cover ups and all these things.
So do you have a message for them? Do you have something to tell them right now?
I do have a message, because personally I have two refugees from Lahaina that came to live with me on the other side of the island. I have their stories. I have um parents who are crying to me for help, their teacher of 3 years ago, because they can't talk to their teachers, they can't find their principals, they can't find anyone that can help them find their student friends. They reach out to me to teach for free, and I try. They're opening up hubs, they're asking for all this help, and they're also telling me that they have no house and nowhere to go. And the most recent is they have no clothes, they need clothes. And it's beautiful that the community, that is not the government, has opened up hubs for these people and free stuff and the donations. And it's just about finding each individual person and family and what they need, and just getting as much as we can to them. But it's very hard with just using our social media, and without the help of the government, we can do so much more for these people.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate your answers, and I think our audience will enjoy your response as well. Because I mean,
Mhm.
it's the first one, but it's not gonna be the last one. Thank you so much, Elizabeth.
Awesome.